Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
Fearing President Obama would take executive action to close the Guantanamo Bay detention center in Cuba. Congress took steps to make sure the president must go through them if he plans to shut down the facility, and they set a deadline for him to submit his proposal. Today is the deadline, and President Obama unveiled his plans publicly. Mark Albert is at the White House with more details.
President Obama announced his latest proposal to fulfill a campaign promise and close the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba.
It's counterproductive to our fight against terrorists because they use it as propaganda in their efforts to recruit.
There are 91 prisoners still being held at Gitmo. The plan is to transfer 35 of them to other countries. The remaining 56, including 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, would be moved to a facility here in the U.S. The administration is looking at 13 different locations, including existing prisons in South Carolina, Kansas, and Colorado.
I don't want to pass this problem on to the next president, whoever it is.
The White House says moving the prisoners to the continental U.S. would save as much as $85 million per year. But it will take a one-time cost of up to $475 million to implement the plan, which means getting the approval of Congress. And that appears unlikely.
It would be illegal under current law to transfer foreign terrorists at Guantanamo into the United States.
Congressman Mac Thornberry, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, called this more of a PR move than a real plan to work with Congress. But he cracked the door a bit when he told WMAV radio that it's not impossible to shut down Gitmo and that he's willing to hold a hearing on the details of the president's proposal. The White House is urging Congress to act quickly. Mark Albert for CBS News, the White House.
Speaker of the House Paul Ryan issued a statement saying the president's failed to include details required by law, including the exact cost and location of an alternate facility. He says Congress will not change the law to allow terrorist detainees on American soil.
Last call, Edward 143, status check. Adam 1 Central, Edward 143. Is 10:42, end of watch, February 11th, 2016 at 12:45 hours.
An emotional goodbye to fallen hero. Fargo police have one final radio call for fallen officer Jason Mosier. The last goodbye to Fargo police officer Jason Mosier drew 3,600 people to Shields Arena yesterday. Police Chief David Todd called Mosier a cop's cop, always ready to help out, and close friends eulogized him as a man dedicated to family and a life of service. Emotions were running high. Reverend Kevin Closter said the only thing that would come easy were tears, and Mosier's friends struggled at times as they told stories of their lives together.
I'm not sure how to do this. In the nearly 25 years that I knew Jason, we never talked about this.
After the service, thousands of people lined city streets to pay their respects as several hundred emergency vehicles escorted Mosier's family on a 21-mile procession through Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead. Mosier was shot February 10th while responding to a domestic disturbance call in North Fargo and died the next day. Reverend Closter called it a senseless act of violence that changed lives. A wet morning in the metro, but can we expect snow later this week? Let's check in with meteorologist Robert Hahn. Robert?
And we continue to see some soggy conditions out there with a little bit of drizzle falling here in the Fargo-Moorhead area with mostly cloudy skies. And we'll see that chance for some drizzle, some flurries, and maybe even a few light snow showers as we head through the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures right now pretty uniform in the low to mid 30s in most locations, including 34 here in Fargo, Wahpeton, Sisseton, Fergus Falls, and Wadena. And temperatures will be steady to slowly falling as we head through the rest of the day as northwesterly winds bring in some slightly cooler air. And those winds enough to create some wind chills in the teens and 20s across the region. I mentioned the clouds, and we've got lots of clouds out there. They continue to slide off towards the south and the southeast. Underneath those clouds, a little bit of activity in the form of some flurries and drizzle and some light snow showers, and those will continue as we head through the rest of the afternoon. A better chance for a little bit more snow as we head through your Wednesday. I'm going to show you the first 2 days of that 7-day forecast today. That slight chance for a little bit of snow tomorrow. a little bit better chance for that snow, and that could cause some minor accumulations. We'll let you know when to expect that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Robert. Senator Heidi Heitkamp is taking the next step in the process to remedy mail delivery issues in North Dakota. This coming after Valley News Live reported on several issues in the rural areas of South Fargo. Heitkamp has launched a new Fix by Mail survey to gather feedback from North Dakotans about challenges with their mail delivery and service. After starting the initiative in January of 2014, Senator Heitkamp collected more than 200 stories of problems with mail delivery and service in those rural communities. One of those stories prompted the termination of a South Fargo mail carrier after Senator Heitkamp pressed Postmaster General Megan Brennan on severe delivery issues. To take the survey, go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. The city on the grow is living up to its name as the West Fargo School Board signed off to plan to buy a new land for an elementary school. The board voted 5-0 Monday night to approve a purchase agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota for almost 12 acres. The company owns west of its headquarters on 13th Avenue South in Fargo. West Fargo will pay BCBS over $3 million for the land, which the district agreed to assume $551,000 in special assessment costs. West Fargo schools are planning to build a 550-student elementary school on the site, and construction is set to start in the spring of 2017. Funding for the new school was approved in November as part of a $98.1 million bond referendum. Controversy in Minnesota over a vanity license plate. This is the plate spotted near the city of St. Cloud. It simply says F Muslims. The photo was posted on social media, prompting comment and criticism from hundreds. The picture also got the attention of Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton, who ordered the State Department of Public Safety to revoke the plate. Local activists say they are glad to see the plate being pulled.
And it has been overwhelmingly saying this is wrong. This is what this community is all about in St. Cloud.
State officials say the plate was issued in June of 2015. Coming up on Valley News Live, Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop investigates how the system works in Minnesota and North Dakota for vehicle owners if they would like to customize their own plates. Some legal trouble heating up over popcorn. You may have seen the Chicago mix on some bags of popcorn. Now it'll be much harder to find. 3 major popcorn makers were forced to drop their Chicago mix flavor after a trademark lawsuit. A small Minnesota chain called Candyland started that label more than 20 years ago. They trademarked the name Chicago Mix, but that didn't stop other makers from using the name on their own products. Candyland co-owner Brenda Lamb says they were forced to take legal action. They brought 3 of the biggest trademark violators to court.
Of keeping what we started back in 1992.
Chicago Mix is a mixed bag of 3 different types of popcorn flavors. First, traditional seasoned caramel and caramel. The University of North Dakota has taken the next step with its new Fighting Hawks nickname. The school has hired SME Inc. to design the new logo. Work won't start right away, though. SME will visit UND to gather input before starting the design, which they hope will be finished by the end of May. North Dakota Game and Fish is asking anglers to remove permanent fish houses early in the areas of the state where ice is melting fast. The usual deadline is March 15th, but current long-range weather forecasts predict that temperatures will be well above normal. That means a thin ice pack and mild weather can quickly result in unstable ice conditions, which can make removing a fish house with a vehicle difficult or even dangerous. And coming up, learn how your next selfie could protect your next online purchase. But next, whether to plan your day.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.